it is a really really late one, but as it was a final that went on today, we thought we'll grace you with our presence. Obviously, Anthony and early doors have been with me from the start. We've done every England game. Pepsi Pack, we know you've been in there as well. Big up my friend, new friend, should I say? I've stolen you from early doors, but we're allowed. That's fine. We're allowed to share. And on Monday, obviously, the Man United football guru in the house. So guys, look, obviously the game went on. Anthony, I am actually going to start. Actually, I'm not going to start with you. I want to start with on Monday, just because I can see what your face looks like. I purposely haven't asked you any questions beforehand. But look, they've lost. Just an overview, and then I've got some questions that I want to ask you. So Monday, an overview of how you think the night went, man.
Yeah, really enjoyed the game. I know it's a bit stale in the first half, but
Lawrence.
Spain there's no surprises. Spain have an identity, the way they play the football, their brand of football, and all players are in tune with what they're supposed to do. And you can see that the way that as a team, it's not one-on-one fighting. You know, this is a team sport, so you need to have some sort of identity and style of play. And I think with England, they've got some really good, talented players, but just don't click because they're trying to be something they're not. You need to be what you are, and this is what we all grew up in England. We all play football in England. We know what is effective, what makes us good, and they're going away from that, trying to be too technical, too system-based, everything else. And Harry Kane, and you know, after the fact, you can say all this stuff, but I said this from the start. I'm not trying to act like I'm some sort of prophet or anything, but for me, you need to. This is the problem being with English football, where they haven't won anything for such a long time. They have these golden boys, whether it's Alan Shearer, whether it's Harry Kane, that come out there and they can't do no wrong. They keep playing, and you see sort of double standards all the time. And I'm a neutral. I don't have any sort of discrimination against anybody necessarily, but I just look at the teams and what's the best team? What would I choose? The style of play, best sort of players to play, and definitely Harry Kane from the start of the tournament, or for a long time now, I wouldn't have played him because you need someone to be to penetrate. He doesn't offer much. Even when he scored top goal scorer in the World Cup of 2018, they're all tap-ins and penalties. I just think he doesn't offer much. You need to sort of change the grain and change your mindset, have an idea of football, get back to that, and to start bombarding teams and getting on teams like we did when we go a goal down, you know, right, get a player up, let's push it up forward, let's get the game forward. That's how England are effective, and they're trying to play a style of football that doesn't suit them. So I'm not surprised. I'm a bit disappointed, even though I'm a Man United fan and I'm not really into the England side of thing. I want to see them win, but I'm not surprised because till the day you come in and start picking players on form, picking players who are effective to make you best chance of winning, then you're not going to change anything. Spain have an identity, they won. Italy had an identity against us a couple of years ago, they won because they went back to their thing. Even if it means pulling Saka back, you know, being cynical, defending well, you know, showing heart and character. We've lost our identity since the Premiership came along. All these foreign managers coming in, we stopped playing football. We went from 1977 to 1984, winning enough European Cups, English, Villa, Forest twice, Liverpool. We're winning a lot of European Cups, imposing our football on Europe. That stopped because we've got these foreign coaches in, teaching foreign players coming in, teaching us different styles of football. We're trying to incorporate into the English national team, and they're looking around for Rodri or all these foreign players that they usually play with, and they can't do it. The ball don't stick. Let's get back to basics of what makes us effective, and that's where they've lost their way. Otherwise, well done for getting to the final. But beyond that, if you want to be clutch and you want to go that next step, you need to regain your identity.
Early doors.
Well, first of all, I'm going to go what Lawrence has put here because it's absolutely spot on. You know, when you look at it, we didn't play like we did against the Netherlands. And this has been our problem for the whole of this competition, the lack of consistency. You know, we've not seen the same performance in each game. You know, it's been consistently poor in certain respects. But considering how we played against the Netherlands, we never carried it into this game. And we looked scared at certain points. You know, Spain, I've already said it before, always look disciplined. They've always got a structure how they deal with their style of play. When you look at on the break, they use their wingers effectively. Players supported each other on and off the ball. When you look at England, we was just all over the place. There was no consistency in that respects. And the fact of always Southgate doing the same old thing, you knew full well it's going to be one change. And to be fair, he did the best thing by taking Trippier off and putting Shaw on, because that man had a great game. Give him that. Cover your ears now, Ramondi. Cover your ears. Mainu, unfortunately, I don't blame him. I blame the players around him, because he wasn't used effectively at all. Because he was more subdued than he was normally is. You'd like to see him pushing a lot more, but unfortunately, I don't think he got a lot of supply. So he was very subdued in what he can actually do in the game itself. Saka, yeah, he did his usual thing. Kane, well, I think the likes of we're all of a certain age now, the four of us, but I think we could actually run faster than what Kane could in that game. Yeah, because that was shocking. And why we still stick with him, man? I mean, like as Amondi said, there, it's that kind of, I don't know, is the English way. We have to be nostalgic and keep him on because he scored so many goals. The man's not doing anything. Why do we pick 26 man and yet we have virtually 10 of them sitting there doing nothing? Waste. Absolute waste. I mean, I'm going to say my guy, Bowen, he came on in the first half the second half of the first game, was effective. I don't know, maybe he said something to Southgate, because after that, he just sat on that bench and that's all he did. Gordon again, a talent like Gordon, we're not even using that. And we make changes late yet again. I mean, Tony should have come on a lot earlier. And like I said before, should have started with Tony, not put Watkins on. Because, again, Watkins...
You think you should have started... You should have played Tony instead of Watkins, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. Bring Watkins on as an impact sub, because that's what he's good for in this level of competition. But other than that, I wouldn't say he should have started. I would have gone with Tony.
Anthony, please don't cuss too much.
Well, before I have my rant, before I got to say something, all I got to say is, I am going to say it, though, Mr. B. I'm going to say, Southgate, you're a prick. Honestly, I've got to say it. I mean, the man is no good at man management. Why he's still? I hope he's not the next manager in the World Cup. Seriously, I don't want to be the manager in the World Cup. Mr. B, I said it on the last stream when before I went away, right? And the good news was I did manage to find my caravan in the end of the last show. You're a manager, Amondi's a manager, and I get it with when Amondi's manages team. He puts videos on there. I see it, and he stood on the touchline. And I'm not saying he's having a go at his players. He's riding his players on to say, look, come on, lads, we're playing a game of football. Let's get into this. Whether you're winning, losing, or drawing the game, I don't see anything of this manager at all. And no, I'm not dishing you a Amondi or anything like that. I know you're a manager of Sunday League football, but listen, doesn't it prove the standards of what Amondi does with when he manages his team, when Southgate manages our country? He doesn't do anything. He's not effective. I don't think Southgate wanted to win this competition. I am going to be honest with you, because he's not. He's bringing on the same subs. It's like for like. I believe you and me. I know what it's like. It's like for like. I'm an Arsenal fan. My manager, Mikel Arteta, he does exactly the same, and he's going to be a happy soul tonight because obviously with him coming from Spain as well, So, but what I'm trying to get at is the best player on that pitch for me was Stones. He was man of the match for me, and then after that, he was up there with Luke Shaw, and Saka, and early doors comment. Well, he brought up Nene. In all fairness, I don't think Minu. I don't think he had a great game. I'm not slating the guy. I like the guy. He's young. He's 19. You know, he's got a whole future ahead of him at Man United and also at international level. You know, he's got that. But I felt sorry for the guy because there was nothing going in his direction. You know, he apart from in that game, in all fairness, he was like a lost soul, and he was. And I'm going to touch on Harry Kane now. I'm sorry, Harry Kane, but you are crap at international level. You are crap. I can't see no light for you at the end of the tunnel. The light is dimming, and it's dimming fast. His goals, what he's got for his country, for England, a third of those goals are penalties. They're not from. Most of his goals are not from open play. Most of them are penalties. Yeah. So I just want let people hear what I'm saying and let this sink in, because I tell you something now. This guy Harry Kane at international level is no good. At club level, yes, but at international level, no. There was a doubt on Harry Kane, right? Whether I heard rumours today whether he was going to play or not, because it said to me, I read that he was doubtful. I wish he was doubtful. Personally, I would have started Ollie Watkins. That would have been my first thing. Yeah. And I know I give Southgate the credit of when he brought on Palmer, because it's like what I said in the last show. He brought on his subs at the right time. Palmer got the goal. But I just wish that Harry Kane did not play in this final. I think England played better without Harry Kane. Look at the standard of football when he was subbed off Harry Kane. Look how we were playing, and we were pressing. We pressed right up to the end. I mean, Rice with the header, and I can't remember who else it was. Somebody else had a chance after the keeper. Yeah, that was a perfect. But this is what we should have been like from day one in this competition. The way how we played. I personally think we would have played much.
Anthony, you've spoken for 107 minutes, right? So I'm going to cut you now. I'm going to ask you a question. At what stage have England played how Spain played in this tournament or under Southgate?
What are you comparing to Spain?
No, I'm just saying possession football seems to be the way to go. But Spain now, they had tiki-taka football years ago. They've now morphed into a team that plays with wingers and cross the ball. I haven't seen so much crosses. Right, so they adapted to a system. Did you really think England would have won the tournament, Anthony? Because I'm sitting here. I'm not shocked that England lost. I'm not shocked that England lost.
On paper, we got a brilliant team.
I keep telling you. All you people who keep talking about paper. Rizzler paper is what you use paper for. Football is not played on paper. It's played on grass, Anthony.
I know. I know what you're saying with the Rizzler paper. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those. I like to do tracing and on my paper. I don't do this. But
or wipe your backside.
Exactly.
Exactly, on Monday. Do you remember in school when it was
not with Rizzler paper on Monday, yeah?
Yeah.
Not with Rizzler paper, that's for sure. Backside of Rizzler paper, yeah? Do you remember the old days with tracing paper?
God,
fair enough.
Avoid doing it in school. Wait till you get home.
But trouble is, though, it's like what he said. They had a philosophy. They had a playing. You know, they played to their advantage. They had a style of play. We didn't have that from the start. And to be honest with you,
style of play.
Yeah, they had a style of play. We didn't. I mean, you look at the first game when Germany beat Scotland, they had a style of play. Okay, they lost to Spain as well. Spain knocked out Germany in this competition, but both teams were good because they had a style of play. But Spain was better because they were better in attack than what they were with Germany. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when you got Kai Havertz up front playing for you, you know, it's not that great. I mean, Morata isn't that great. Let's be honest, he hasn't had a good competition. But look at the players that he's playing with. Look at the players that's around him. And those players, they gel quickly. Look at the young guy for Spain tonight. You know, He's playing at a certain level. It looked like through this competition, that young guy looks like he's actually
Yamal.
playing like in his peak at 27. Yeah, he's 17. So, do you know what I'm saying? That is what I'm saying. Is a different philosophy that Spain goes through. Southgate didn't pick this
but Anthony,
philosophy.
Yamal was quiet tonight. He wasn't as
Shaw
effective.
played
No,
him.
I know, but
I thought
what I'm
Shaw played him
saying
well.
is in the competition, in the competition,
Oh, in the
you've got
competition,
to-
yeah.
in the competition, that's what I'm saying. You've got to give him credit. I mean, for a young guy like that was 16 and turned 17. It was either yesterday or today. It was his birthday. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know what I'm saying? So that's that in one way. The way our England's been playing through this competition, we've been playing absolutely rubbish, and it surprised me that we actually got to the final.
Right. So why are you upset then? Why are you
But-
upset that they lost?
Because we've got to the final twice. The last final, I preferred England the way we played. I preferred how we played in the last Euros to this Euros, and anybody else, I tell you, if they've been watching it. So it's like what I said. This England team is good on paper, is written down, but when they perform out on that pitch, is a total different story. And I personally think Harry Kane. No. Honestly, Mr. B, I think Harry Kane. I wouldn't have him. I wouldn't have him in an international top. I wouldn't.
I'm gonna
wouldn't.
ask all of you. Where England going to drop their captain for the final? Just answer me a simple yes or no, regardless of how he's played.
Yeah, chop him.
No, I said, would England? I'm not asking you. I know what your opinion is. Would England have dropped their captain for the final? Yes or no?
Because
Right.
no, they wouldn't.
Thank you.
No, Southgate was a yes man.
Early doors.
Southgate said yes man.
Early doors. Would they have dropped him for the final?
Never in a month for Sundays. You know full
On
well
Monday.
you're starting.
Would they have dropped him for the final?
Judging by the pattern they have, no, they wouldn't have. But
Guys
right
in
thing to do.
Guys in the chat,
Mm.
just answer yes or no for that question. We'll pick them up as they go. Look, we've got no chance. Anthony, you can't be vexed with decisions that a manager's going to make when you know he's never going to make them. Right. So, question: were you happy with the team? The squad, the starting 11. Were you happy with the starting 11?
I was happy with the starting 11.
I would only hear nothing.
It.
That's it. Early doors. Were you happy with the starting 11? You can talk now.
Bless. Basically, no, because I go with like Adam Amino there, but the midfield balance was all wrong, and that's been the problem. So no, I wasn't happy with the squad.
No, the team that started the final.
No, still not happy with it.
What would you have played?
I thought the formation not a problem at all. It's the personnel that was being used that was the problem.
Question, go on. Elaborate.
So when you think about it, we know Kane should have been dropped like a stone. There's no two ways about it. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, I would have taken hooked off Bellingham and Foden. And if you look at it, you've got the choice then of Gordon and Palmer to start. Would have give you a completely different balance.
What? So hold on. So this is to start the game. You're not starting with Foden or Bellingham in 3-5-2.
No.
So what are you playing? Are you playing?
I've still got 3-5-2, but I'm playing Palmer on the inside and Gordon out on the wing, because at the end of the day, them two players have constantly got on each other's feet every single time.
So who played? I'm sorry. I'm lost. Am I losing? You don't play Bellingham. You don't play Bellingham and Foden. You drop.
Mm-hmm.
So who's central midfield? Mainu, Cole Palmer, and
and then you put Gordon out.
No, who's the other and?
Right.
Who's the and?
Right.
Oh, Sherbert, I forgot about him. Oh, look, just like he was invisible today and invisible the last game. Anthony. Good, no comment. That's what I like. Monday. Were you happy with the team?
You're better than me, no?
Were you happy with this?
He was.
Don't let this show go that way. Don't let the show go that way. Monday. Were you happy with the team?
Me personally, no, but I'm not surprised by what he picked. But I'm with Early Doors. I would have picked a different team. Thing is, we can make a judgment because he's got all the way to the final, and things change, don't they? We've seen the emergence of players come through. We started with Trent, went with the Chelsea boy Conor Gallagher, and then Mainoo was in. So it shows with form and confidence, you can get players coming into the side. But I just felt that going into the final, I would have played it completely differently. I would have dropped Kane, and rather than put Tony or Watkins in at the start, I would have played Bellingham in that sort of role because it's Spain you're up against, and he can drop into midfield to help out. And then you've got the two wide men with pace, maybe Gordon and Saka, to sort of get in behind rather to hurt them. Where really, I think that would have been effective. And then pack the midfield with Mainoo, Rice, and maybe a Palmer or Foden or someone like that. But look, it's horses for courses. I'm not qualified like Southgate. I haven't, I'm not a FA man and do follow instructions like that. This is why they get the job, and they have to make decisions. And I think sometimes I do sense that some of the decisions are made on someone's stock. Kane, it's like you get I don't know. It's like a fraternity, in my opinion. Sometimes these players get hierarchy based on their stock. Oh, Kane, you can't touch him. He's got to go in. He's a certainty. Tony Adams, he's a certainty. All these, that's how it is. I feel within the fraternity, the FA, and this is why you come into the job. This is why Brian Clough could never get the job, and this is why they booted out Terry Venables and Glenn Hoddle, because Glenn Hoddle wanted to do something different, wanted to bring his own players, and bring his own identity to it. But you have to be a yes man if you want to be an FA manager. It's one of the world football, and I believe because of that, because you've got restrictions and you've got to play certain people. Once you get rid of that and you have that freedom, then you can go forward. Look at France; they most of their team heritage comes from Africa. That's not the identity of the majority of people living in France. Do you understand what I'm saying? But they're playing the best players to win things, And I just feel there's something going on with the FA where players have a hierarchy and they can't be dropped, and it's always going to be that way, and you're never going to win anything until that changes. You need to bring in something refreshing, drop all that, play the best players. Even with people trying to get into the game of football, no matter how talented, we all know someone who's super talented that didn't make it. That's always a story. Didn't make it. But there's always something. There's a reason for that. It's like, how do you break into that? There's something in football, the culture, which makes it difficult. And if with grassroots getting into football, it makes it difficult. And then with the England team and the FA and all kind of things, you have to tick certain boxes to be one of the guys, one of the made men. And that's the big problem for me. They're never going to win anything while they have that sort of culture.
Oh, well, you answered one of my questions. Can England ever win? Will England never win? Anthony, I'm going to put that to you, and then you to and then obviously you, Early Doors. I've started a couple of questions. One from Ravi. He was talking. He's got it up here about the fraud Bellingham. I just want an explanation on that, Ravi, and then guys in the comments, if you could just let him know your feelings towards that, and I'll get those up on the screen as well, because I've heard a lot of issues about Bellingham being a fraud. He plays to me. Some of his football is Scott McTominay-esque to me, but I maybe seen him a lot less than everybody else. So yeah, Anthony, can England ever win? Will England ever win?
I hope so, but I can't see it, Mr. B. It's like what I said and what Amondi said. You've got to be a yes man, and if you're a yes man, you ain't winning nothing. This is why Brian Clough didn't get this is England job, because he wanted to do it his way, right? And FIFA, the board turned around and said to him, "No, you're not doing it your way. I'll do it mine. We do it. You've got to do it our way." Hence, that's why he didn't get the job, and Sir Bobby Robson coming in took the job after he left Ipswich. So it does make you think that with no matter what manager we get in. I mean, we've had obviously we've had Sven, we've had Capello, we've had a few good names, few good managers there, but they didn't bring it over the line, unfortunately. So, in all fairness, I would like them to win it in my lifetime. I want to see England to win a trophy in my lifetime. I really do, but at the minute, I can't see it.
Early doors.
I'll just read it. Kay's leg's going to be like Popeyes. Unfortunately, with the people that's in charge of the FA at the moment, there's no kind of ambition to progress as a nation, and that's all, and not just a nation. When you think about it, I mean, like, you know, when you look at what they say with youth, they've got to make sure they enjoy football and stuff like this. But then there's no facilities for them to enjoy playing football, or there's very lack of it, you know, because you get no support. So when you look at it, you know, when we get to men's level, we're just seeing the same old dross being picked each time. And the other opportunity is for certain people to be picked. They are literally just sitting on the bench doing nothing. Whereas most of us would know that even for you know, our respective clubs, we know what they can do. But we also know players from other teams what they can also do as well. But unfortunately, this manager, for some reason, is going with the tried and tested method. If it's not broke, we don't need to fix it. Well, clearly you do, because we've seen that in this competition. We've not been great. We've managed to get through this competition by the skin of our teeth. As I said earlier on another show, and that he's either got kind of, you know, 4-leaf clovers in his shoes, rabbit foot in his pocket, lavender, all the good luck charms you can know of to get us through this competition. But unfortunately, that luck ran out today, and we knew it was going to come. But of all games, it had to be the final. But unfortunately, yeah, we're you know, the hierarchy that run the FA also are the same people that are basically strangling the progression of our nation and our football clubs.
On Monday.
Yeah, so the question is, will England ever win anything? And like, I agree with the two guys there. I don't think they will unless they change the whole structure. And it's not, they've got talent, they've got best facilities, they've got the best league, apparently, the Premier League, you know. But you need an identity of play. And that's what you did. So you either kick out all the foreign players and all the foreign managers and go back to basics and see what we produce, what style of football we produce by that. And then we have more chance of winning something. Last time we won something was 1966, when there was hardly any foreigners in the league. And we were playing a style of football which we felt was ideal for England. There was a time years ago when England felt they invented football, they're the best in the world, but they didn't win a World Cup. Then in 1954, Hungary came to Wembley and whooped their behinds, you know, and gave them a shock, you know, tanned their ass. And they had to reset and think, hold on a minute, something's wrong here. And then going back to Shankly, he got whooped in 1972 or 73 by a Red Star Belgrade team. And he had to reflect and say, my gosh, what's going on here? I need to, you know, learn something, because our game can only take us so far. You know, and then 4 years later, with a little bit of pass and move, they started to have a brand of football mixed. You know, so you sprinkle a bit of a foreign brand of football, bit of a technique, bit of thing with the English style of play, and that's when you're at your peak. You have that roughhouse English aggression style of play football, which Europe couldn't handle, added with a bit of, you know, smarts and know-how from Shankly, and then Brian Clough with his 2 wins as well. That's why we were winning things. So if you want to have a formula to win, you need to go back to identity. This is what I'm saying. Tony, if I'm watching Kane tonight, didn't hold up the balls. Balls were played up to him. He's letting people come through him. Didn't hold it up once. Bellingham was holding up the ball better than him. Tony, you know, he holds up the ball. Watkins is short and squat. He holds up the ball better. And Kane was giving us nothing at all. So it's about changing the golden boys, adding a little bit of something extra with but the majority, 70% English style of football, and add a little bit of expertise of things you've learned from Europe or whatever to get something going, and go back to a rule where maybe you're only allowed 2-3 foreigners. You know,
No, you can't do that.
I know you can't do that, but if you're asking how we're going to win something, that's the only way. Because if you look at the Championship winning teams, Premier League winning teams, they're full of foreign players who weren't born here. You know what I'm saying? So how do you expect the England team to win when you've got Mainu trying to play ball?
Yeah, but what you can say the same thing about Spain.
What can I say about Spain?
About their players. Did all their players play in Spain?
There are 2 Basque players playing today, playing for Atletico Bilbao, who are only Basque players. Even Williams, the guy who scored the finishing goal.
Mm.
He was a best player. It means that they can only, whether it's Sociedad or Atletico Bilbao, they can only play players from that region. And Barcelona, there's Barcelona players there, there's Real Madrid players there. You know, it's an identity that they're used to. So England need to go back to their identity, roughhouse, play there, whatever we call it. Not saying long ball, but aggressive, running the channels, working, getting crosses in, you know, that sort of thing. That's English football because of the conditions out here. This is why we play our football that way and impose it on the world. And that's the only way we're going to go forward. And then add a little bit of control and everything else. We were always asked, when will an African nation win a World Cup? It's not going to happen. They've got the talent, but they haven't got the organisation. You understand what I'm saying? So every nation, the only nations that win things consistently are teams, nations that have an identity of football. The Germans, the Spanish, the Italians, the Brazilians, the Argentinians.
But you say the German style of play changed this tournament.
How?
In regards to the system, do Germany normally play that system of play?
Yeah, they're very efficient. This is the thing about Germany.
No, it's efficient. I'm talking about formation. You talk about styles of play. Spain have a style of play that everybody seems to understand is Spanish. But the Germans, I don't see the Germans that have a style of play. Efficiency, yes, we understand that. But is it efficient in any formation? Italy, I think Italy have been an absolute bloody mess. They don't have a style of play. So this is what I was asking. When you was talking about style of play, I understand what you're saying about England. They're trying to adapt to a system that other people are years ahead in. So they're gonna have to play catch up or have some sort of miracle movement. Whereas if they played their old, I understand the up and under, but I'm talking about Germany. I don't understand what's Germany's style of play. What is their
if you look at throughout the whole German league, it's all transitional football.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how they play the football. It's all transitions.
The one thing you've got to remember as well, compared to England, is most of these national teams actually kind of get together more than what we do. There's more of a cohesion in that respect. There's the other thing as well. Because we play more games than some of the other, other countries. That's where we lack that cohesion as a team. I think that's also our biggest problem as well. Yeah. Whereas, like the new German manager with the style of football he plays with that team. Yes, there was a change from the last game that they played. He changed tactics in that. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off. But yeah, that's what I think we also lack as well. But because obviously we're playing for their respective clubs, because we play the X amount of games that we do. That's where you're having the problems. Like, look at the first game. You had basically Bellingham, Foden and Kane, especially in the second half, all virtually on top of each other. Whereas, you should be, full well, as a player, you get told to play in space, create and go, give and go. You get told that kind of thing. But when you got three players trying to do exactly the same thing, you just strangle your play, and it showed. It was quite evident. Yeah,
because there's no balance. It's like what we said soon. There's no balance in that team. And when you ain't got balance, you lose the chemistry in your team, and this is what happens. And this is what's been happening with England. It's what I've always said with the Foden and the Harry Kanes. That combination didn't work. I mean, you've got to have a nice even balance throughout the team. So what I would have done, in all fairness, in this competition, if I was the England manager, I'd be playing 4-3-3 with Gordon on the left, Watkins in the middle, Stack on the right, Rice, Bellingham. And obviously, you've got the choice of playing Palmer or Mainu in the middle. And then obviously, if Gordon's not performing well, you take Palmer off. You take Gordon off, and you can bring Palmer and play him up front in that area, out on the wide left as well. So, and then you could bring Mainu on as a sub. So with that England team, there was balance and consistency there, but Southgate just didn't know how to work it. And this is why we had all these poor results leading up from the first game right up to the final. So, do you know what I mean? I think to be honest with you, you could turn around and say it was probably England. You sort of like flicks it to the final one way. Do you know what I mean? So, you can quite easily say that. But I mean, obviously, with tonight's game, we said on the last show after the Netherlands game. And we win it, and it was our country. We all said yes, we could win it. We wanted to put faith into it, but obviously after tonight's game, we couldn't put any faith into that, could we? After the 90 minutes, I mean, I called for it in the 75th minute. I mean, we were tired. The legs in defence were tired, and I mean, you only bring on 2 subs of Watkins, and you bring on a sub as Palmer. I mean, I'm not being funny. You're like 5 subs. I guarantee you, if he would have used a couple of more subs, yeah, it would have still been 1-1 within the 90 minutes. It would have been extra time. We most probably be going for a penalty shootout now. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only thing that I got to say on that. But it was all wrong tonight. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know he subbed on Palmer, and what a fantastic goal by Palmer. It was a quality goal. But I think if you, I called it in the 75th minute, and if I can see it, why can't Gareth Southgate see it? In all fairness, he's the one that's standing on the touchline, looking at his players, trying to read the game. We should have put on a couple more players.
Look, everybody's got so somber. Look, was it a good tournament? Have we enjoyed it? Barring as a neutral, forget about England getting to the final and losing. Have we enjoyed the tournament? Where does it rank? Was it better than the last Euros? Maybe don't compare it to a World Cup. Was it better than the last Euros? We want to get the vibe up, man, because the Premier League starts. The Euros are finished now, so we're on our clubs. So let's pick the level up a bit on here, man.
Yeah. So overall, as a tournament, it got good for me when it was comparing to knockout games and seeing good teams play against each other. Big shout out to Georgia. I thought Georgia were fantastic. The Turks were magnificent, showing their resilience and character. Really like to see a lot of players like that. There's the Slovenians, the Slovakians. For me, not good enough.
So you think extending the tournament has added less quality in regards to allowing, because obviously they made the tournament bigger.
Well, what they're trying to do, they're trying to make it more entertaining, aren't they? The whole game in football on itself, trying to make it more entertaining for the fans so we can sit there and enjoy it. But what they're doing, I think they're making it less entertaining overall, because teams are neutralizing each other. Unless you're an outstanding team like Spain, who won the tournament, rightly so, you're not going to. Most of the games were won by a goal, or there wasn't much in it. Yeah. So the outstanding team for me is Spain. They deserve it. Take a bow. Beyond that, the state of European football, international, nation-wise, is not very good. Not very good. So overall, I'm a bit disappointed with the tournament. I've seen a lot better. I can go back to sort of '88 when it was a smaller format, just 2 groups, and they go through. And Holland ended up winning it. I thought that was a good tournament. Euro '96 was okay, obviously because England done really well, and the Germans won it in a whack final against Czechs. But I think with European football, there's a lot of they're neutralizing each other, and they're trying to find a way to make the game more entertaining. But what happens is systems adapt to different rules. Remember the offside rule, when players would start offside and then come back offside, and so everyone's always trying to get a jump on how to the game's being adapted to make it more entertaining. We've seen the VAR, which is favouring the attackers, but are we necessarily getting more goals? I don't think so. Maybe we should go back to the pass-back rule before 1990, because maybe there's more goals back then. It's not improving. Keep the game as it is. Forget the VAR. Just use the referee, whatever. If the referee gets corrupted and makes mistakes, so what? There's controversy. There's something to talk about. But it's just too flatline for me. I want to see a better quality football, and apparently, this is why the World Cup's better, because you get a bit better mix. Colombians against the European team, or Africans against Europe. Yeah. It's a better gel. These teams know each other too well, and they just cancel each other out. So, stalemate for me.
Early doors.
Yeah, it's not been the greatest competition, that's for sure. There's only a couple of standout games and a couple of standout teams. Obviously, Spain, I said from the beginning, for me, just seeing that first game, they're going to win it. France were poor, considering the talent that they've got. We wasn't exactly great. We was good in moments, but they said the underdog teams, they're the ones you can look at. He said Turkey were, considering how they were very unlucky not to get through to the next round, and in Georgia, what a great performance they had. But overall, I think the Germans hosted the tournament very well. You've got to say that. But the downside of I thought was quite awful, considering really, and we're lucky certain players didn't get injured, was the state of the pitches.
Which is,
But how they cut up badly in that. I mean, I think I think we see a couple of times players sliding and their legs going at a different angle what they should do, and you think yourself, please don't don't want to see anything go pop. But yeah, the pitches were absolutely dreadful. But and what do you think about the refereeing standard? There's some referees that were a bit trigger happy with the yellow card. I mean, their arm was just spring loaded all the time. But in general, yeah, it wasn't a great competition.
Anthony?
Yeah, I said the same, Mr. B. I don't think it was great competition. I've heard the last Euros. I think Amondi's right. A World Cup is better than the Euros. You've got more teams around. Obviously you've got the South North American teams that's in the World Cup gelling, and we're playing against all teams, obviously all around the world. But this one is just European teams, and in all fairness, I think this competition was poor. I mean, Germany, they didn't play that bad. I mean, you can never underestimate them. They like to get you on the break, don't they? And obviously, look what they did to Scotland first game of the tournament. Beating them by what was it, 5-1? I think it was 5-0. 5-0, yeah. So you know what I mean. So and Spain, they played well. France was poor. I mean, with France, they scored what was it? I think it was 4 goals in the competition, 2 of them being own goals. So they were very poor. But you can't take anything away from this the Spanish side. I mean, they were good years ago, obviously when they won the World Cup and the Euros, going back a while, and they seem to be on the ball now. The Spanish. So I think we're going to be in surprise for the World Cup. I mean, they're going to have to be candidates to obviously get to that final, maybe through semi-final of the World Cup, Spain. So that's the way it is at the minute. But yeah, not happy with this tournament, and I haven't been really happy. I haven't really been impressed with England as well.
Well, you've had your rant. You've had your moan. I know you would have gone longer, Anthony, but I've got work in the morning, so we're going to blow that. But guys, look, obviously we've got early doors' boys popped over. Guys, we already know the deal. Make sure you subscribe to Early Doors' channel. Again, if you're on Early Doors and you're watching us, subscribe to the Man United Agenda.
Yep, and you see the name with Amondi there. Yeah, you have a Forbes, the Man United Agenda. Please make sure you go and subscribe.
We will be doing more collabs as the season goes on. Obviously, when Arsenal play Man United, we'll have Anthony on, and obviously when Early Doors come, when we've got West Ham, which should be a guaranteed 6 points this season.
Thank you very much for them 6 points as well, Mr. B. I love your honesty. One admiration I've had about you all the time. I knew you was a great
I'm putting this £2 on for Man United to win the Carabao Cup this season. Okay?
That's all right. Put it down there. We're used to winning trophies. We're used to winning trophies. We've actually got that in our system. So as you can tell already, look, the banter's already started in the season as it started. We did do a takeaway last season. We will try and get it back up, get 1 or 2 other supporters on, 1 or 2 new faces. And you get it, so you don't even need your Aviat. We just need people who want to talk Premier League. Cool. But yeah, look, we will be back. Sorry.
Before you go, Mr. B, I mean, I think Lawrence Watkins has put the most, the best comment above Simon Warner's one. I think that's the best comment of the show.
Which one is this? It right here. Sorry, is this the comment here? Sorry, mates.
That's the one.
We at least are European champions. Oh, look, European champions, FA Cup holders, second place, second. Do you get a trophy for second? Do you get a trophy for second place? Oh, you don't.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No,
you get a jar full of Scotch mist. That's what you get.
Okay, so look, as you can see, the banter's already started, which is good. For the United fans on it, we'll be back tomorrow. We've got a game against Rosenborg. Yeah, it's all right. You keep looking up. I'm going to look down on you. We've got a game against Rosenborg tomorrow. We will be doing a reaction shot, some say, tomorrow. Early Doors, what have you got planned for your channel tomorrow?
Nothing at the moment, but Wednesday it's the return of the ugly one to the side of me here. and Hot Fuzz, the Man United guy, for the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly season 2. We're starting up again on Wednesday at 8:30.
Right.
Good
With
stuff.
that, guys, thanks for watching. The United boys, we will be back tomorrow. And you look, guys, remember, we appreciate good comments. We appreciated the banter as well. So look us in when United lose. You can jump on and give us abuse. We don't mind that. Our shoulders are big. Amonde's 7'5", so nothing. He's like our back thing. We deflect everything. So we take it. So look, even if you're not Man United fans, even if you're not West Ham fans, you've seen the banter that goes on here. Look, subscribe to each channel and look, United fans, we will be back tomorrow. As always, Anthony, love you, man. Thanks for coming on. Early doors. I know I'm going to be seeing you later on in the season on a Monday. No doubt I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Guys, in the chat, give us a like, give us a share. We're on our way to 4,000
Thanks,
subs.
people in the chat.
We are out.
Take care, everyone.